What's up, everybody? Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Overwatch video. And in this video, we gotta talk about McCree being erased from the game, or rather, the name McCree is getting errated. So we gotta talk about what his new name is gonna be, and a new map is actually coming in September. Surprise, surprise. But go to the GameLeap website for tons of in-depth guides if you want to pop off in Overwatch. But let's jump right into the video. So fan favorite gunslinger McCree is actually named after someone that was part of the original Overwatch team named Jesse McCree. Word for word, their names are identical basically between the game and the real person. Now the big problem is, of course, the elephant in the room, which is the big sexual assault scandal that happened with many of the people at the high level in Blizzard, and Jesse McCree was one of them that is basically associated with that entire thing. Now, there's been a huge amount of covering, blowback, and restructuring at Blizzard that has basically been covered ad nauseum, and we're not going to really talk about it in this video, but what we are going to talk about is the new news. McCree is actually getting his name changed. Now, let's read exactly what they have to say about this, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. They said this quote: "We built the Overwatch universe around the idea that inclusivity, equality, and hope are the building blocks of a better future. They are central to the game and the Overwatch team. As we continue to discuss how we best live up to our values and to demonstrate our commitment to creating a game world that reflects them, we believe it's necessary to change the name of the hero currently known as McCree to something that better represents what Overwatch stands for." Yeah, not sexual assault, sorry. We realize that any change to such a well-loved and central hero in the game's fiction will take time to roll out correctly, and we'll share updates as its work progresses. In the near term, we had planned to kick off a narrative arc in September supported with many store and in-game content, of which McCree was a key part. Since we want to integrate this change into that story arc, we'll be delaying the new arc until later this year and instead launch a new free-for-all map this September. Going forward, in-game characters will no longer be named after real employees, and we will be more thoughtful and discerning about adding real-world references in future Overwatch content. We'll get back to that in a second. This will help reinforce that we're building a fictional universe that is unmistakably different from the real world and better illustrates that the creation of Overwatch is truly a team effort. Work on these updates is underway, and they are a part of our ongoing commitment to honest reflection and making whatever changes are necessary to build a future worth fighting for. We know that actions speak louder than words, and we hope to show you our commitment to making Overwatch a better experience in-game and continue to make our team the best it can be." That's the Overwatch team's message. Now, basically, there is like 3 or 4 big points here. The first one is McCree's name's being changed. They don't want the association, right? The association between the person McCree and the fictional character McCree, which honestly, I can understand, but we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. The next up, there is going to be a story arc with a lot of content actually coming out featuring McCree, but he's probably going to be named like, I don't know, something else like Mick Mills or something like that. Okay, but really, yeah, there's going to be content actually coming to Overwatch. That's a first. That's actually crazy. And there's also a new free-for-all map this September, which is next month. We get a new map that is really out of pocket. I know it's going to be a free-for-all map, but I didn't expect to get any new content into Overwatch 2. So even a little bit of content goes a long way, if I'm being honest. Now, the interesting thing here that there's like a big debate over online is whether or not they should have done this at all. Is this just sort of virtue signaling something like, hey, we've changed, we're better, see, we're changing the name, even though that really doesn't affect anything. It doesn't change the inside of the company. It does not change whether or not we even associated McCree with the person. I mean, we really didn't do that in the first place, and the people that argue this point say that this has no consequence. There's no point in doing this. It's just kind of like something they're making a big deal out of, when at the end of the day, there are far bigger things they need to tackle. Now, the other side of the coin is, hey, they're doing a lot of stuff to help and fix the internals of the company, but they still need to be consistent all the way through, and having a character that is named after for that association is just not okay, and they want to get rid of it. Now, of course, in hindsight, naming a character after a real person is dumb as hell. if that person is not long dead, don't name anything after them. I mean, really, even naming it after someone who's dead, you never know when you're gonna like name it after someone who was known for something great, and then you dig into their basement or something and there's like freaking, you know, a whole bunch of bodies or whatever. You never know. Don't name fictional characters after real people unless you're okay with all of the baggage that comes with said person. I mean, that's pretty obvious, and as a general rule of thumb, very bad when you're trying to push a narrative of someone that is good, righteous, whatever. I think you get the point. And it does make a lot of sense that in the future they are going to be moving away from naming things after real people. That being said, I did see a tweet by McGravy that said we should change McCree's name to Calvin. You know, yeah, I mean, that would be freaking amazing, ain't about Calvin, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that's probably not gonna happen. I just think that that was actually a pretty cool suggestion. Now, honestly, I'm not really putting my opinion out here because I don't really know one way or another. At the end of the day, it doesn't really affect me at all. I don't really care. It's not changing the gameplay, but I do think that Blizzard should be held accountable and they should be making steps to kind of fix up their company. And it looks like at least they are trying. But I really want to know your opinion about it in the comments down below. Do you think that this is like a non-issue and you don't really care, but you're happy it's being done? Or do you think that this is actually kind of a joke and you would rather them just keep McCree and, you know, do other things to actually improve themselves? I want to know your opinion and why down below, and yeah, be part of the conversation. But the next thing that we need to talk about is that free-for-all map. Now, I'm not entirely sure why we're getting this. This kind of seems like a band-aid, if I'm being honest, like a band-aid for the content. They said that they had a McCree-based content and some other content to kind of throw in there, but now that he's not going to be named McCree anymore, they kind of put something in that place and they say, now you're getting a free-for-all map. It kind of seems like they had a free-for-all map on the back burner and they're just throwing it in. If I'm being honest, free-for-all maps don't have to be balanced like at all. They're not being played competitively. It's probably something that, you know, as far as basic level design, they could probably throw together a free-for-all map very quickly with like a team of people, and then of course the art and everything like that and the sounds and all that stuff. That's gonna take a lot of the time, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to keep practicing and testing and fixing a map perfectly to release it into a competitive scape, because free-for-all is not competitive. So that kind of means that these should be not too difficult to make, if I'm being honest, compared to fully fledged maps. But I honestly think that a lot of us would rather have fully fledged maps, and if content is still on the table, which it looks like it is, bring us real freaking full-size maps. How about some Koth maps? How about, I don't know, anything, payload maps? Just give us something. I think a lot of people would be really hyped if we got any bit of content. I mean, I'm hyped about this, and it's just a freaking free-for-all map, but definitely let me know what kind of content you want to see, even if we only get like one piece of content every like 6 months. What is that one thing? Is it a character? Is it a map? What do you want to see and why? Let me know down below, and let me know what you think about this entire story. Definitely a very strange world we're living in Overwatch, but thank you so much for coming by. Hope you enjoyed the video. I love your faces. Go to the GameLeap website for more in-depth tips and tricks, and I'll see you next time.